What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite, and welcome to my first ever video. This will be reimagining Manchester United. It's called that because I'm planning on playing Manchester United a little bit differently than most people do. Most people, they use a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, maybe even a 4-4-2, and I just want to do something a little bit different. And it's a style that I think fits Manchester United. I think the team is very interesting. They've got a lot of interesting players, a lot of unique players. So I think it's a perfect meshing of style and team. And I think I'm really going to enjoy it. So hopefully that means you guys will enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into it.
And here we are. I figured I'd start here at the league selection screen. Uh, so the leagues I have loaded, these are leagues I like to load for most big teams I play as. I feel like these are the leagues that the teams in them have a strong chance of competing in the Champions League. So I want to have all their players, all their regions put into the game. I want all their players put into the game. I want all their leagues loaded and played every year. So the best teams rise to the top, and we get a competitive Champions League challenge. So the leagues I have loaded, I have England all the way down to the National League North South, France to the second league, everything else playable view only below, down to the third league in Germany, top league in Holland, but playable view only below, third league in Italy, top league in Portugal, but playable view only below, the top league in Russia, but playable view only below, and the third league in Spain. And if you see over here, I also have a custom database. If I go to advanced, I can show you. I have force loaded all current international players, players from top division clubs, players from top clubs, and players from clubs in continental competition in Europe, South America, Africa, and North America. I do this because it basically loads all the players that are going to be useful for a Champions League caliber team. So I should have every player I need. All the wonder kids should be loaded into the game. All the youthful squad players should be loaded into the game. I see it's a 102,000 player count. I feel like that's a good number. I get 1-star game speed, which isn't great, but I mean, I think it's worth it. So, and then advanced options you see I have do not add key staff and disable player attribute masking. I just don't like player attribute masking. I prefer to be able to see what my opposition's players look like so I can try to counter them and so I can do opposition instructions. I don't personally do opposition instructions, but if I want to change something in the opposition instructions, I want to know what the players look like so I know what to change. So, and I prefer being able to see the players' ratings when I'm trying to scout them. It just otherwise, I think it just makes the game annoying if you don't have player attribute masking turned on. So that's just my opinion. But let's start the game and let's get into the save. In terms of how I set up my manager, when I'm playing at a top club where I have full Continental Pro license and for full international global playing experience, this is how I like to set them up. Uh, I go over one click to the left. I think that messed everything up, but let's put it back. So I go 20 in determination, 20 into man management, 20 into level of discipline, 20 into motivating, and then put the rest into adaptability. I don't put anything into player knowledge or youngster knowledge because I haven't noticed any effect it has in the game. Like I use my scouts for knowledge, so I don't see what my knowledge does. I use my assistant manager for my current team to see what their ratings are. So I just don't see what this does. And then determination, man management, discipline, and motivating all affect how you manage your team. If you don't know, determination affects how the manager is at getting what he wants from the board. So they're more likely to accept your requests. Man management is the ability to manage training overall and how you interact with players on an individual basis. Discipline is how likely a player is to bring their concerns to you. So being at 20 level of discipline, they're not going to bring in little minor quips to you. So you're going to be able to get through the game without having players get mad a lot easier. Motivating affects how you do in team talks. So that's obviously very important. And then determination, discipline, and motivating are also important when you're training your players, because that's something if you're looking for coaches, the secondary attributes you really want to look for on top of their coaching attributes. And these are the coaching attributes I go with. I've maxed out attacking, defending, tactical, mental, technical, and working with youngsters. So I can do any attacking, defending, or mental training at 100%, 5 stars. Just throw the rest in the fitness because I'm gonna have destined, goalkeeping coaches. I could put some into goalkeeping, shot stopping, or something like that, but I just do fitness. It doesn't matter where you put it. What's most important is you get these maxed out. So no matter what kind of coach you have, you're going to have your coach being able to do 5 stars in whatever your team is not good at. So I think this is the best way to set up your manager if you're working at a top club. And that's about it. Let's get into the save. Start playing. All right, welcome to day 1, part 1 of reimagining Manchester United. Today we're going to be working on some contracts and determining our tactics. We are going to be running 3 tactics, and I'll show you all today what those will be. So first off, players in last year of contract. We've got Edinson Cavani. He has a 1-year extension clause. I'm going to hold off on him. I might end up selling him in January. I might end up holding on to him. Depends on how he does on the season. I'm going to let his performance dictate what we do with Edinson Cavani. Juan Mata, I might sell. I just don't think he's going to fit what we're going to do. I think he's just a little too old and slow. I need physicality in this team to play this tactic to its best potential. Sergio Romero, I want to sell. I don't see any use of having Sergio Romero here. We have got Dean Henderson. We've got De Gea. We've got Lee Grant as a third goalkeeper. So Lee Grant's going to stay. I think we're going to let him run out his contract and let Joel Pereira be the third goalkeeper next year. So I'll probably use that 1-year extension clause on Joel Pereira, but I might as well wait. There's no reason to have to do it right now. Puigmal, he's got really good potential, so we will offer him a contract. I don't want to loan you out, so I'll get rid of that. He accepts that. Suggest the offer, 2.8K, 3 years. Let's go down to 2.5. I don't want a yearly wage rise. I will give you 5K after 20 league games. I'm okay with that. You're a youngster, so you probably won't reach that in the 3 years you're under contract. He is very upset with that. I'll give him 3.5, 17, and I'll give you the 7.5. He should accept this, and he does. There's him. Now Traore, he also has a decent amount of potential, so let's offer him a contract. He doesn't want to be loaned out. He just wants youngster. That's fine. He wants 3.9. Always work them down. There's no reason to give them exactly what they want. You can always get them for cheaper. I never do a yearly wage rise, especially if they're like a longer contract. There's just no reason to do it. I'd rather pay them a little bit more up front than have huge yearly wage rises. So let's try this. See if he wants that. No, he wants 4K. I really want to do 3.5. I'll give him the 7.5 after 10 games, and he accepts that. That's a decent contract. Mellor doesn't have much potential. I'm really looking for 3-star or more potential for these youngsters to be able to re-sign them. That's the minimum I see is of the ability to be a role player in the team. 2.5 stars just isn't good enough for a role player if you're really trying to improve this team. So I won't be re-signing him. I won't be re-signing McCann. I won't be re-signing you. Savage looks like the only one I will re-sign out of the rest of them. He just hits the minimum. I will not be loaning you out. He wants 2 years. I'm okay with that. 1K, 2K. Get rid of the yearly wage rise. He'll probably ask for more since I got rid of the yearly wage rise. And he does, but not really. I can probably still get him at 1K and 2K. And I do. All right. That is all the contracts done. So let's go into my favorite part, which is tactics. Go to create tactic now. We're going to create our own style. We'll start with this because it's closest to what I want to do. So I am doing a 3 at the back with Manchester United, and this is the shape I'm going with. A 3 or a 5-1-2-2 is what I would call it. And I used this in Football Manager 2020 to pretty good success. I really like it because it's really defensively solid with the three center backs. It's hard to counterattack on three center backs, especially when you have a holding midfielder in front of them. And it's really hard for them to work it through the middle. And it's hard for them to cross it in because you've got three center backs back there. So you've got everyone in the box covered. So it's just a very solid defensive tactic. And going forward, because of the roles I'm going to set, it's going to be pretty strong too because I'm going to have both my central midfielders on attack. Both my wing backs are going to be attacking. My deep line playmaker is going to be a little bit of attacking. He won't be a deep line playmaker in my first tactic. Let's just start doing the roles. So I like two advanced forwards. My midfielders, I want two Mazzalas on attack. I used to have one of these Mazzalas as an advanced playmaker on attack, but I just really like the Mazzala on attack role. And I think two Mazzalas work really well together, surprisingly. I want complete wingbacks on attack. This is where it gets fun. I want a Regista. I want two ball-playing defenders on defend. And then to get extra spicy, I like a libero on support. Now, usually you don't want to do a libero when you have a defensive midfielder, but since he's a regista, he'll be getting pretty far forward, and I'm also actually going to ask him to get further forward to create more space for the libero to work into. So when we get into attack, these guys will push up to here, he'll push up to here, he'll push up to here, and this is kind of the shape we'll be looking like in attack with these guys coming up here. So as you see in attack, that's a pretty strong shape. You get the defensive midfielder at the behind. You get this Regista here who might actually move up into here. So I think it's a pretty strong shape in attack. Let's put everything back to where it was. Regista. Wingbacks. And Mazzala's on attack. And then this is the defensive shape, obviously. If you don't know, when you're making a shape, what you're making is the defensive shape. So this is what they'll look like in the defensive phase. What I showed earlier is what they look like in the attacking phase. So now let's get into the mentality. We will be attacking. In possession, I will play out of defense, which is something I almost always do just because I don't like lumping and hoping. I like playing out of defense, especially when you have a pretty good team. Work the ball into the box. I almost always do that too, just because you get better quality chances. You don't have as many long shots. It's just the almost right thing to do in almost every situation. Low crosses because we don't really have any tall players. Much higher, extremely high tempo. Just seems to be the best thing in this Football Manager. Seems like high tempos just work really well. And also seems like run a defense works really well. So I'll tick that. And it also kind of works because we have some pretty good dribbling players, especially in our strikers. Our midfielders are decent dribblers. Our wingbacks aren't the best, but they can do a job. And then for passing directness, I can either go slightly shorter or slightly more direct. I think I'm going to stick with slightly more direct for now because this is going to be almost kind of a counter-attacking tactic. It does pretty well working up slowly. Like if you have possession, it does actually well, but it works very well on the counterattack. So I think I'm going to stick with slightly more direct. In transition, we're going to counter press and counter. Almost always should counter press and counter. I can think of very few situations where you wouldn't want to. I'd almost always counter. Sometimes you'll want to regroup, but you almost always want to counter. And I like to distribute to the center backs when I'm playing three at the back. And De Gea is best at short kicks, I think. Let's look. Throwing 8, kicking 14. So we will take short kicks. And then out of possession, I almost always go with a much higher line. Just high pressing seems to be the best thing in this game. Gegenpress has been popular for a while. Lines I sometimes change a little bit. I'm going to go with slightly higher defensive line and an offside trap. Do I go with offside trap? It's harder with an offside trap with 3 at the back. Obviously, you have more players that have to be on the same page. But I'm going to stick with it now. Every time I like to press higher forward on my defensive line, I like to go offside trap. So I'm going to stick with it for right now. Obviously, extremely urgent pressing. You got two strikers, so I want to prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And I almost always like to get stuck in just because I like to be. The way I play, I think the more physical team usually wins. So getting stuck in, being more physical, it's only going to help you win the game. You might get more yellow cards, you might get more suspensions, but if you have good squad depth, you can deal with it. And then finally, force opposition outside. You might think it's counterintuitive because I've got such a strong middle with three center backs and a defensive midfielder, but in this football manager, it just seems like it's the right thing to do. In general, you want to force opposition outside, and just in football in general, because you get them squished between the winger, your fullbacks, and their sideline, and it just restricts their movement, restricts how far where they can go, restricts their passing potentials. So force opposition outside just seems to be the go-to, and that will be my first tactic. Now let's do set pieces before I go any further. Let's turn my set piece takers real quick, just so I know who I got. Bruno Fernandes is going to be my set piece taker. I don't like to make my fullbacks my set piece takers because I like them to stay back on the corners. So if I have any decent other set piece takers, I'll use them. Juan Mata is probably going to be sold, so I don't think I'm going to set him. I'll put Donny van de Beek as my backup. And then Matic. There's my three. So it'll be my midfielders. We'll take my corners. Free kicks. Let's go Bruno Fernandes again. I'll put Juan Mata on them for now. Pogba. Tellez is fine as a free kick taker. Okay, I'll just go with those for now. And long throws. Luke Shaw on the left. Tellez on the left. Wan-Bissaka on the right. And it looks like Brandon Williams isn't great, but I'll put him there. I like my fullbacks to take my throw-ins. Then we can go into our corner tactic. Defensively, I like to have one extra person on the front post. So it's nice to have three center backs, so I have pretty good corner defense. But I don't have my team set. Let's put our team in first so I know what players I've got where. So this is going to be my first team. De Gea in goal. Bailly at right center back, I think. Lindelof is the libero. And Maguire is the left center back. I might put Tuanzebe here when he's fit. It just depends on how well Bailly plays. Right wing back is going to be Bissaka. Regista. For now, it's going to be Van de Beek. This might be a position I look to fill later because I don't think Donny Van de Beek's the perfect Regista. But he'll work for now. Tellez is perfect at the left complete wing back. Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba as the Mazzalas. The advanced forwards, I'm going to go with Rashford and Martial for now. Okay, now I can go back to my set pieces, go back to my corners. And my best headers is obviously going to be Harry Maguire. So I want him here. And I want my second best header, which looks like it is Eric Bailly, to be near post here. So my best header near box, 6-yard box near center. My second best header, 6-yard box near post. And third best header there. And then I like to have someone at the far post still. My fourth best header of the ball, which is probably Paul Pogba. He will be there. And then Martial, who's got better dribbling than Rashford. So I want him carrying the ball up the pitch. And Rashford will stay up. Actually, I want no one forward. I just like a guy on the edge of the area. He can run at the defense on the corners. I like to have everyone back just to be as solid as possible on corners. I hate conceding corners. So that will be our corner tactic. Let's mirror it on this side. I don't know why the midfielder's here now. Let's switch you. You go here. You go here. You go here. And then Pogba goes here. And there we go. That is our defensive corner tactic. And our attacking corner tactic, we are going to be kicking it to the near post with our best header lurking at the near post, second best header attacking the near post, our striker that's best in the air, which is probably Rashford, attacking the far post. Lindelof, I will have marking the keeper probably because he's more physical than really anyone else on this team. Then I like to have one guy lurking outside. I like to have my other striker attacking from the edge of the area. And then Paul Pogba probably won't lurking outside over Donny van de Beek. And then my last guy I want going forward. And that is my corner tactic that I like to do, the near post tactic. You get a lot of goals from this lurking at near post guy. You get some from the guy attacking the near post. You get some flick-ons to the back post. And some balls that just go through completely and get missed by everyone that this striker on the edge of the area can lurk on and get on the end of. So let's mirror that on the other side. Near post. Defensive center left. Defensive center right. Defensive center. Let's put Rashford there. Let's put you can go outside. Martial there. Pogba lurking outside. And there we go. Those are our corner tactics. Now let's see. I don't do anything for free kicks. I just don't see much. Like the default free kicks are pretty good. There's not a whole lot you can change. I might tweak it a little bit as the season goes if I see some areas that I need to fix. Throw-ins. I don't do anything defensively. Attacking. We also obviously do long throw-ins. You have to be doing long throw-ins if you're playing this game. If you want, it just creates easy goal-scoring opportunities that you just miss out on otherwise. And you want to put your best header lurking at the near post. Your second best header attacking the near post. It's similar to corner tactics. Then you have your best striker attacking the far post. Best defensive center marking the keeper. You want... do I want Fernandez? Who's better at long shots? Fernandez, 17. I think that's better than Pogba. Yeah, so I want Fernandez lurking outside the area. I want Pogba attacking from the edge. And then I want my defensive midfielder to stay back with my left wing back. And this is my long throw tactic. So let's mirror that on the other side. Actually, no, one thing I forgot to do. I like to have... who am I going to do? I like to have one player coming short just to bring in an extra defender to the thrower. I could do Martial, but I'd rather have him in the box. Let's do Paul Pogba coming short. And then he can be attacking from the edge. So is this Paul Pogba? Yeah. So that's fine. Long throws. You stay back. You lurk outside. He's there. He's there. He's there. He's there. And he's there. There we go. Those are all of our set pieces. Penalty takers. Bruno, obviously. Tellez. Cavani. Rashford. I'm not sure really what's more important, composure or finishing. I'm going to go finishing for now, and then composure. And those will be my set piece. Take my penalty takers, my captains. Let's set real quick. Maguire and Fernandez, obviously. They're the two best captains. Otherwise, Matic is a good captain. Cavani's a good captain. I usually like the older players to be the captains. Pogba's been in the club for a while. He can be a captain. And that's all we'll do for now. So let's go back into the tactics. let's save this tactic. Save it as Let's save it as Manchester United 5122. Save. And then let's load the tactic. So we load all of our set pieces, so we don't have to do our set pieces a second time, since we already created our tactic. And then let's do a little bit of changing for this tactic. This is my more defensive tactic. This is what I'll run when I'm playing a team that's at my quality or a little bit better even. Or if they're a team that's performing really well in the league, even though they might not be the best team, but they're performing well in the league and it's away from home. This will be what I go with. Actually, no, I want a ball playing defender on cover. So I changed the Regista to a deep line playmaker on defend, just so he screens the back line better. I get rid of the libero, just because I want 3 at the back the whole time. I'm not as worried about the extra guy going forward. Typically, when you're playing these teams, they'll push forward a little bit more, so you don't really need as much creativity in an attacking area, because you'll be able to counterattack a lot better. You'll be able to create your chances a lot better, just because they'll have less people defending. And those are the only changes I go with. I do change the mentality from attacking to balanced. And that's about it. I think those are the only changes I have. And then let's create a third tactic. Let's copy Manchester United 5122. And then this one I want to do something a little bit different, just in case the 5 at the back or the 3 at the back isn't working and I need to be more attacking. Let's go to a 4-2-3-1. Fernandez will go at the cam. Does Bailly? I'm guessing Bailly goes off. Back to a ball playing defender. My fullbacks go back. And I bring in Mason Greenwood. Swap them around. Plays inside forward on attack. Inside forward on attack. Advance forward. Attacking midfielder on support. This will be Van de Beek as a deep line playmaker on defend. Pogba as a Mazzala on attack. This is something I played with a little bit with Barcelona in a quick save I did earlier this year. Just a personal save. I had actually had Messi right here as an enganche, but I think Bruno Fernandes physically is decent enough, so I think I'll play him as an attacking midfielder on support. It's obviously very attacking because you're using one of your midfielders as a Mazzala on attack. So, but you have your other one as a deep line playmaker on defend to kind of sit back and screen the back line a little bit more. Wingbacks, I think I want them as complete wingbacks on attack. I want attacking. Is there anything I'm going to change here? I don't think so. One thing I will change is I will switch to distributing to the fullbacks. When I have 3 at the back, I like to distribute to center backs. When I have 4 at the back, I like to distribute to my fullbacks. Anything on here I want to change? I don't think so. This is kind of what I like for an attacking tactic. And that will be my third tactic. One thing I want to change is I want to do some instructions. I want to mark tighter and tackle harder with my striker and my attacking midfielder. I want to mark tighter with my wingers. I want my central midfielders to mark tighter. Then I want my wingbacks to shoot less often. I'm actually going to do this with all my other tactics too. I want you to mark tighter, tackle harder. Mark tighter, tackle harder. Mark tighter. Mark tighter, not tackle harder. And then I don't want my defensive midfielder to mark tighter. I want my wingbacks to shoot less often. And that's it. I'll do the same for my first tactic. It's just the same exact thing. And I think that's about it for day one. And that will be it for part one of day one. We will join you tomorrow for the rest of day one. We'll be doing some staff. We'll be doing some training. We might be doing a little bit of scouting. We'll be going through our team, seeing what we need, and then finalizing anything in here. Club Vision, I'll finalize. And then we'll be ready to advance to our first games. Thank you for joining me. I have been Parasite, and I'll see you next time.